Hey listeners, Dan Harris here, host of the 10% Happier podcast. Imagine all your audio entertainment available in just one place. That's what the Audible app is all about. With Audible, you can always find the best of what you love or discover something new. Audible has an incredible selection of wellness titles and originals like The Light Podcast by Michelle Obama, Work It Out by Mel Robbins, and Confidence Gap by Russ Harris. Membership includes access to Audible Originals, podcasts, and tons of audiobooks that you can download or stream as much as you want. And as an Audible member, you can choose one title per month from an ever-growing catalog of titles to keep. The Audible app makes it easy to listen anytime, anywhere, whether you're traveling, working out, doing chores, wherever your day takes you. New members can try Audible now free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/Harris or text Harris to 500-500.
This is Full Change with Tom Laidlaw.
Tom, we got a big one today. We got a great guest. This guest is a teammate of yours.
Yes.
No guessing though.
No.
He scored 50 goals for two teams.
Wow.
He scored 395 career NHL goals. And for me as a fan, don't guess yet. When I was a little kid, I wanted a Pierre Larouche mustache.
Ah, yeah.
Pierre Larouche.
Pepe, what's happening, brother? How are you?
How you doing, Tommy?
Really good. Great to see you.
Always great to see you.
So I know we're going to jump around a little bit here, but the first question I have to ask you, if this is really a true quote from you, when you're in Montreal, you got asked about back checking, and you said, I heard that you had said, I get paid $250,000 a year to score goals. If they want me to back check, they're going to have to pay me another $250,000. Is that accurate?
Actually, it was I was with the Penguins in Vancouver, and the reporter came in as usual. So they left, and in the room, I said, "Well, they pay me $150. They were not paying me $150. If they pay me $150 to score, it's going to demand another amount for me to come back. It's a long way from one net to the other when you can cross-check your face in the ice." And you look up and the puck's going the other way. Whoops.
Oh, that's funny. I remember hearing that line. I didn't know you at that point, obviously, and I heard that line. I was like, oh, that's classic. Now that I know you, that I can just hear you saying it too. Good. So, Pierre, where are you from originally? What's your hometown?
I was born in a little town called Taschereau, and it was only 800 people. Later on, we moved to the town where I grew up called Amos. It's like 400 miles northwest of Montreal.
I think I was in Amos when I was in the agent business. I had a tournament there for a junior tournament there or something. So,
yeah, they did. They had a big midget tournament. So,
yeah,
you saw the darkness, I guess.
Oh man, cold and dark. I remember that. That was probably one of the cold. And I've been out to Western Canada and all that, but that was one of the coldest places I've ever been. That was cold.
Yeah, we were used to it, but
yeah. So, when you were growing up as a kid, I mean, you had all the talent scoring goals. Is that just natural? You were that talented when you started?
Yeah, from the get-go. A friend of mine the other day told me that his dad used to say, you should see this kid skate. So I guess skating was first before they noticed anything.
Oh, really? Oh, is your skating before you stick
5 years
your
old? I was started at 3, but I was 5 years old at the time, I think. And my buddy, his dad said that you should go see that kid skate. So that's how I was told at first.
Very cool. So when I was 6 years old, I determined I was going to play in the National Hockey League. Right? I was terrible. I couldn't stand up on skates. But I just decided I was going to play in the NHL. Were you that way? Was it your dream when you were young?
That's your dream, right? Like yourself, no matter what. You're out there playing in the cold weather outside. That's all we did. We couldn't go in the building where the roof was, and it was just for like older players. And so we once a month, the father at our school would bring us to play inside the building. We thought it was huge, but it turned out to be very small.
Oh, is that right? Eh? So the rest of the time you had to be outside all the time. Wow.
Oh yeah. Cool. Oh yeah. We had the big ring for the big boys, the middle for the middle, little for the little one, and you had to bring a shovel because if you didn't have a shovel, you couldn't play because it snowed. So no shovel, no play.
That's pretty cool. So when was it then you first realized, geez, I maybe have a shot at being an NHL player? Was it pretty young?
Yeah, always was in my mind. I think that watching on TV and you see Montreal play and you get to a point where you start to realize you got skill, but the dream is there. But like yourself, you believe in it but the first time you step on the ice as an NHL hockey player, you realize you made it, and that's amazing.
People ask me sometimes too whether anybody really told you that you couldn't play, and I remember a lot of people saying to me, "Tom, you're not going to play in the National Hockey League." But the two people more than anybody, my parents, they didn't say you're going to play. They didn't say we weren't going to play. They just never took the dream away. Were your parents like that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, everybody played. My sister was probably the best skater. I was the last of 10, but my sister was probably the best skater we had. So she would like.
Well, there's 10 kids in your family?
Yeah, I was the last one.
Wow, is that right? Your parents knew what causes that now, right? It was a little cold. It's cold up there. They got to do something.
What else you got to do?
Are your parents both still with us?
No, they died a few years ago, at least more than a few years ago. And it's like anything else in life. Stuff happens, so move on.
Yeah. So they must be pretty proud of you too, right?
My mom was, my dad too, but my dad never really was the kind of guy that would say, job well done. He would look and he didn't say much, but I'm sure he was proud.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that my father's like that too? I know he was very proud of me, but they just didn't. There was no "I love you" or "Thomas, so proud."
That was the old school then, Tommy. You're not supposed to say to your kids you love them because they were your teacher. I guess they tried to teach you as good as they could, but and there are ways. And those days they thought that doing that was the right thing to do. So
very true. Later on in life, my father and I would say we love each other, but early on, there's none of that stuff.
No, it took a while.
Yeah. I remember when my mother was passed away, she had a long battle with cancer, and I went to say goodbye to her, and I started getting a little teary-eyed, and she goes, no, there'll be none of that. She was just like, she was in pain and everything, but she didn't want her son crying. So
I know.
It hurt stuff. Wow. So where did you go play junior then?
I went to Quebec. The Ramparts were the one that in our area scouted a lot. So I went there when I was 16, and around, I don't remember when, we were playing in Sorel, and the trainer said, you got traded on the other side. I said, really? Wow, okay. So I went that day, played against the team I was with that same night. It was pretty wild.
Wow.
And after that, I guess the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah, well, history is, Tom, that in his last year in junior, he put up 251 points.
Wow.
94 goals.
Wow. And so was that as an 18-year-old?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you were drafted and you turned pro right away, right after you drafted?
Yeah, I was 8 overall for the Penguins.
Oh, that's right, too. 8th overall. Yeah. So did you go to the draft back then?
No. I was playing golf actually on my little 9-hole back home, and somebody called me. They said, hey, Mark Buello, the coach of the Penguins, wants to talk to you. I was like, okay. I knew the draft was going on, but those days you didn't. In 1974, you just found out when the person called you. So he called. He was French Canadian and started speaking French. I said, well, I'm looking forward to training camp, but right now I'm on the 6th hole, so I'll talk to you later. I got to go finish my round.
I can just hear you saying that too. That's Pierre Larouche right there.
Listen, I said, thank you so much. I appreciate that, but I'm on the 6th hole, so I'll talk to you later.
But, that's funny.
Pierre, did you expect to go higher, or was there any expectations before that?
The expectation was, I don't care. I just want to get drafted. The whole dream was to play in it, and you didn't believe it till you played in it. So even if you got drafted, how many people got drafted that didn't last, and high draft choice, right? That just, because it's a different game altogether when you get to the NHL compared to junior or college. It's quick, it's fast. You got to have that step, and sometimes, it's been done before where guys got drafted really high, never made it. So
that year, Greg Jolly was the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, he was the 1 overall. I was looking the other day out of my first round pick in 1974, and I think that me and Todd Gillis was the only guy who scored 300 goals on that first round pick. I'm not too sure, but I think somebody told me, and I looked at it, something like that. Me and Todd were the only one who scored 300 or more than 300 goals in the first round draft pick in 74.
That looks about right. Dave Maloney was actually a friend of yours, Tom, was picked that draft as well.
That's right.
Yeah, Pierre, were you hoping to go to the Canadiens? They had 4 picks that year in the first round.
I told them I didn't want to because I knew what they did with their players. They'd send them in Halifax for 3 years or whatever. That's the way they did business. So the World Hockey was there too, and I did mention the fact that if I would go to Montreal, I would go to World Hockey, and they would lose their draft choice.
You said that to him? Wow.
Yeah, but the funny story is not that, Tommy. So I get drafted by Pittsburgh. I get a no trade, no minor contract because you're 18 years old. You don't want to. Who knows what's going to happen, right? Yeah. And those days playing in the minor league was like playing worse than junior. That's all they did is punch each other and just it was like a war out there. And after junior hockey, I didn't want to continue, and it was anyway. But
that's good. So did you have an agent?
Listen, to finish that story. So I get a call from Montreal that the Montreal Canadiens wants me, and at the time Bastien was our general manager, and Pittsburgh couldn't play my bonus in December. So I said, Montreal want you. So I said, well, you can't pay my bonus. I mean, it looks like we're going to hit the wall here. So I said, all right, go ahead, trade me. So I got traded. Then Sam Pollock was a Canadian general manager in my draft here in 74. And we're talking November 77. And then we flew to Pittsburgh. The team flew to Montreal, and I told Rick Keogh, Ricky, I got just traded to Montreal. He goes, get out of here. Don't, I said, yeah, okay. So the next day, Sam Pollock saw me, and he said to me, Pierre, I knew at one point I would get you. So that's how they worked. That's why Sam Pollock was such a great mind, because he told me, I said, I knew I'd get you.
That's funny. That is good. That is good. Yeah, so Pittsburgh couldn't pay your signing or the bonus.
Well, if you look back at the history of the Penguins, after that, they just got rid of everybody. Everybody was gone. I remember E.J. Johnson was the general manager and coach of the Penguins in 1983 or 82. At 21 guys at training camp, everybody made the team. So they had 2 towels per guy. All kinds of crazy stories that just had no money. And
I didn't know it was that bad. I didn't know it was that bad. I knew they were tough on money, but wow, that's something.
I had to freaking bring my stick home. I was afraid somebody would steal them. I mean, I was lucky because the guy in Sherbrooke, I was playing with a Sherwood at the time, and whatever. He was a friend of mine, so I would get sticks, but I would tell him to send to my house, not to the locker room, because we couldn't get sticks. I mean, they were not paying their bills.
I didn't know. Wow, I didn't know it was that bad. And what year did so you got out of Pittsburgh? You were there 2 years? You're out of Pittsburgh?
I was 3.5.
3.5 years.
That's at the end of November. I got traded to Montreal.
Wow. But Pierre had a good rookie year with the Penguins, and then his second year he exploded. 53 goals, 111 points. At that point, you've kind of arrived in the NHL, right, Pierre? Are you feeling it then?
Well, it's funny because I was born on the 16th, and at the time I scored my 50th goal, I was the youngest ever. But not only that, I was the 16th player in the history of the league to score 50 goals in the season. So you start looking at numbers that I like to look at all the time. And you look back and you go, wow, it's pretty amazing. You're almost like a line to where I was going it's like almost a push toward where I'm supposed to go. So,
right. You ever think that you should have been in the Hall of Fame?
Well, I got hurt at the end. I guess if I had accomplished numbers, but I don't know. I don't know. It's like
looking at your numbers, though, right? You played over 800 games. You got over 800 points. So you're over a point a game, right?
Right. But it's okay. My peers know what I did. Obviously, anyway, it is what it is. I got no problem with it.
Well, I definitely play with you. So obviously, you know the story. But when Ted Sater came in, he sent you to Hershey, right?
Yeah. Thank God. I was protected by about 10 toughest kid I ever seen.
Oh, is that right?
That was the Flyer. See, that's the whole funny story about that is that because, and it's smart when you think of it, when the Rangers signed Sater, the Flyers asked that one player protected in the draft, not leave open to be picked as a waiver player, had to be picked from the team. So Sater didn't like me, obviously, because we didn't see each other. I think it started when we ran the mile, and he said that my mile was not too good. I said, if I want to go for the Olympics, let me know. I'll train for that purpose. I mean, I was not saying it bad way. I'm just saying, listen, I'm a hockey player. I'm not a freaking guy that runs around that track for a mile. When hockey's here, I'll play. Don't worry about, anyway. So I'm the one who wound up going sent to Hershey. And about 2 weeks later, Bobby Clark came to see me play. And he goes, what the heck happened? What did you do? I said, well, whatever. Yeah. And they tried to, and the conversation with Rob Ingram at the time, who was my agent, who lives in Long Island, talked to Patrick, that whatever the things, well, Craig, if you feel that bad, just tear up his contract, because Bobby Clark wanted me to go to Philly. I mean, he was like, whatever happened to you, whatever. And the funny story about that, you were on my team then in 86, and we freaking beat them in the playoff after me spending all this time in their minor league team, helping Extall on breakaways after practice to teach him better. John Patrick was the coach. He said, Pierre, stay after practice and go one-on-one on him, help him out. So, and bang, he was screaming at me during the playoff. He was mad. He was I knew all his weaknesses. I'm sure I told the boys and but anyway, we might not be in them. That's a funny story about all this. Is that all this thing happened. Sometimes you think it's bad, and it turned out to be those 2.5 months, whatever I came back up, I don't remember. But they were so much fun. I felt like junior hockey again. Guys on the bus talking to each other.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be really bad. And it turned out one of the greatest experiences I ever had playing hockey.
Oh, very cool. Nice.
Yeah. Not at the time, but now I realize it was.
Yeah.
So Pierre, can we go back to
When you arrive at the Canadiens, because you're a hometown kid, a lot of pressure there, and then you're there for 2 cups.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last one.
You're there for 2 Stanley Cups. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, the first year, my wife Cindy got sick in 79. I didn't play much that year, and I didn't play much playoff because hockey was really, when she got cancer, was really back on the burner as far as like, you just got married 2 years, your wife has cancer, doctor says she may die. You're like, okay, you're 22 years old. You go, whoa. Yeah. I didn't see that coming. But anyway, so you get there, and very demanding, obviously. I think at practice we had like between 30 and 50 reporters, written and video, and interview stuff every practice. The practice almost was judged more than a game, because if you're on the ice and you, like, let's say that 79 season, I didn't really want to be there. So obviously my body, how do you say the word? The glow coming out of my body was really bad. And then they would write in the paper, he just didn't smile. He's pissed off. And because Cindy didn't want me to tell the press that she had cancer. Oh, right. She wanted to keep it herself so nobody knew. And at the end, a little bit, they come to me after I left. They said, we kind of knew it. And I said, well, I appreciate not saying nothing, because she didn't want to be, to say nothing. So it was like, you saw, he's mad, he's pissed off. But I was not. I was thinking about my wife. But that's the way the press in New York was. I mean, New York and Montreal. Every day you had to prove yourself. Not to your teammates, well, the coach, yes, because Scotty was like Scotty, but the press, just looking. We had so many that they just look for anything to throw out there. So that's the difficulty playing in Montreal, is the press. They'll chew you up and spit. They want to trade someone, they'll trade them for them. Yeah. They'll just start boring the shit out of them, and that'll be it.
So did your teammates and the team know about your wife?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They knew.
Right. That's the thing you want, right? You want your teammates to understand, because
But it's always been like that, Tom. The respect of your teammates, the opposition. That's the purpose of getting the NHL. So you wind up getting the respect, like yourself, tough defenseman, good puck moving. You keep an eye on it because it'll hit you. I know, because you broke my hand once, you mother. Anyway,
wait, we've got to talk about that.
Did I really break your hand?
I got a new pair of gloves. Started the season. I got a great start actually. And the guy brings me a pair of new gloves. That light tried in the first pair. Tommy slashed me and he broke 2 bones in my left hand.
I didn't know that, Pierre.
Well, it's okay. It's all good. It's part of the game. You're doing your job. That's why I said stay away from him. He'll fucking hit you.
When did you get traded to the Rangers then?
I didn't get traded to Rangers. I was in Hartford. That was my punishment of the Canadiens. They would never send you to a team that will be coming back in the playoff and beat you. So I went to Hartford. My contract was up. I'm sure you remember the name Ross Anderson. He was our captain, tough guy. Yep. Calls me, goes, holy shit, Pierre, July 2nd, they forgot to send us our contract with free agent. I said, what are you talking about? We're free agent. You have to receive your offer by July 1st. If you don't get it, automatically become a free agent without compensation. Wow. So I get this. I was ready to, the contract gets, Russ is the one who called me, because I was ready to sign the contract and send it back. I said, oh, okay. And I think my wife called Craig Patrick. I said, Pierre's a free agent. I think he'd be good on your team.
You sure your wife called?
Yeah, she did.
Wow.
So whatever. Next thing I know, I'm at Rye and with the Rangers.
Well, what year was that then? They signed there.
83, 84.
So Hartford, who's the general manager in Hartford that forgot to send it?
Emil Francis. That's not a story in itself. We have no time for that.
That's bad. That's bad.
So you're on the Rangers because Emil Francis forgot to send you a contract.
Yeah. Me, Russ Anderson. Russ went somewhere else. Somebody else they forgot.
Wow, I forgot about that. Wow, that's rare.
Or maybe they didn't want us there. I don't know. Whatever it was.
Yeah.
But you also, I don't want to overlook, you scored 50 again with the Canadiens, and then you get to the Rangers that first year, and you have a magical year with the Rangers. And what happens then?
48. Actually, I'm the only center in the history of Montreal that ever scored 50 goals. All that stuff now that I don't play anymore, it's coming my way. People are sending me stuff. You know? And I knew I was the only guy that scored 50 in Montreal because I did that in 1980, and I was breaking Mr. Belivo's record. And I mean, that was unbelievable, just that itself.
Yeah. And, breaking his record. He's a legend. Yeah.
Oh, man. Wow. This is like, but when you play with a guy like Guy Lafleur and Steve Shutt, you get some pretty good setup. You know, they don't throw the puck in your skate. I got to tell you the funny story about that. We're in Toronto, me and Guy, on a 2-on-1. and I threw the puck in his skate, but you know the way he was, he quickly boom boom scores. As we're skating back on the bench, and I'm going to say it clean the way he said it.
Yeah.
He goes, "You threw that puck in my skate one more time, motherfucker." I said, "What are you talking about?" So you scored. He goes, "No, my skates are made for skating. My stick is made to receive the puck."
Oh, that's funny.
That's the way it was. Hit my,
Was he joking or is he serious?
Oh, you're serious? Don't you throw that puck on my skate again? I said, "Okay, no problem, thank you."
It's with Guy Lafleur saying that to you, like, okay, I guess I got to get it right. Yeah.
Well, that's the way
funny.
it was. I mean, pretty much everybody, Larry Robbins. I mean, everything was on tape. If you throw in the skate, they were like, no, don't do that.
Larry was great. Larry was an idol of mine. I mean, I got to play with him in LA at the end of his career.
What a man, huh? What a great guy.
Yeah.
Oh, what an awesome guy, Big Bird.
Just like a little kid. He's like a little kid out there, too. He's just having a ball, even like whatever age he was. Yeah.
Every day, even the wintertime outside throwing snowball. Yeah, I mean, just as you know, you need a bunch of great guys to win.
Yeah.
That's the difficulty of doing that, is to put them all together. So
I know Bobby Orr was great and Dennis Boffin was great and everything, but Larry Robinson, he just did everything, and he was fantastic.
Well, look at it this way, Tommy. We got lucky because we played in a time pretty much where the end of great rush skating with the puck and all that stuff was coming to an end, because it's over now. Nobody skates with it anymore. Very rarely, when it's done, everybody gets excited because taking the red line out, as far as I'm concerned, well, it's bad for the defenseman too, because now you got another 60 feet to come after the guy to run him in the corner where the goalie can't come out anymore and help. I don't know why he passed that draw, but anyway, so I mean, the game has changed.
So you got 48 goals that year. Now I know the answer to this question, but do you want to tell us what happened, why you didn't get to 50?
My wrist. Freaking, remember the commercial? You crushed a freaking can of Coke down, and I broke a small bone in my wrist.
Wait, let's go through this, because Pierre, again, I'm a fan, and we're watching you. We're hoping you get 50. Got like 47 towards the end of the season, right?
48 with 3 games to go and 2 against Hartford. That was another story in itself.
So were you mad when you tried to crush the can, or were you just joking around? I
was joking around. In the back room after a game, and the can was there, and it slipped and just cut back. And I was like, "You freaking idiot!"
I was sitting right there beside you too.
Anyway.
Yeah, that was funny.
Stupid stuff,
But you came back for the playoffs, all right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
I was back.
Oh God. So I don't know if you tell the story. We're jumping around a little bit here, but I've got to keep reminding myself. I got to tell the story. And you may not have heard this. So when you were at Hershey, it was near the end of the year, I think, and we weren't scoring a lot of goals. We were out in LA, out by the pool, and Bob Gresh and myself were captains. And Ted Sater calls us over. I'll never forget, sitting by the pool, and he says, "We're not scoring enough goals. Do you think we should call up Pierre Larouche?" And Gresh and I are looking like, "Well, yeah, you never should have sent him down, you idiot." Yeah. So we had a vote, I think, and I think Bob Burke was involved.
I remember that.
Did you know that story?
I was very thankful in many ways, because that was my team, and you guys. I loved you guys, and but I was not too happy about it. I was like,
Well, that was when he send Nicky and Mike Rogers.
Nicky sent
Mike Rogers.
He sent
Mike Rogers,
Caulfield, Rogers. I mean, like, he moved a lot of people out.
Glennie Hanlon. I think he sent Glennie Hanlon to Adirondack too, didn't he?
Some stupid thing. I mean, because if you look at that, I remember, because going back to that race again, who finished first was that kid from Alaska. I think you remember that at training camp. And I think Andre Drury lit him up, and that was it. We never saw him again. Yeah. He finished first in the race, and Sater was going, yeah. Well, okay. Give us a week to get ready, and we'll see what happens to you.
Remember Mark Pavlich was running in his loafers or something too, and he actually did.
That was what I'm saying. Like, what are we doing? I mean, we're skate pushing sideways, not going straight forward. I don't know why I understand the purpose of, at the time, they don't do that anymore. Now it's all controlled, and it's great to watch. But anyway, it was what it was. It's all great memories.
Yeah.
So Pierre, you come back after that call up, and how do you play for Sater at that point? Is you just playing for your teammates?
I was playing for my guys.
And then you guys go on a magical run.
Well, Will Pumon gets on my right wing, and I don't remember who was my left wing. Then Tommy, Larry Milnick, and I forget name, I'm sure I will. We went to Philly, and we stood up to them, and they had a tough team. They had Thick and Brown, Tocchet, on and on and on. But the first game, we talked about on the way to Philly. We knew that's always what they did, so we knew it was coming our way. But you guys stood up for them. We fought them. You guys fought them, and we scored a couple of goals, and they were like, whoops.
Well, what I liked for that team, too, is that even when we didn't fight, we didn't let their intimidation work, right? We didn't let them push us around, I
always remember Will saying, "Don't you worry." And Will was a tough as nails. I said, he said, "Don't worry. Do your thing. Don't worry." I said, "All right. I'm not going to worry, because I know the team we have. Let's go."
Yeah.
Because we finished well. We played well.
That was a good
So,
team. Yeah, that was a
when
really
we got to
close.
Montreal, we ran out of gas.
Yeah,
Well, you had a great series with the Caps too.
Yeah. Well, I remember, I think it's after game 3 that their coach, Murray, said that they had me under control. I don't know if you remember that or not, Tom.
No.
He said after the third game, and then we went boom, 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 boom. He was barking at us a lot from the bench.
Oh, I know. He did that.
I never
hated
liked that from a coach.
Yeah.
You're not going out there. Shut up. I mean,
I know.
I'm the one who's going out there. You're not. You're yelling at the guy. I mean,
I know. I always hated that when a coach would yell. If our I don't think I ever had a coach that would yell at the opposition. I think it was.
I never had one. I don't think. But when you hear that's all he did. You remember he yelled. Anyway, we wound up beating them too, and that was great. So I
hate to say this because he's lost. He lost him now. He's gone. But he had the hair lip too, so we always make fun of him and imitate him and everything.
No, that was that. What you gonna do?
Oh, I know. Like he'd stand. Like sometimes he'd open the door and he'd stand right there at the door yapping at
just to listen to him.
Oh yeah, and he's spitting all over the place. It's terrible to say that.
You guys are awful.
Oh, we would make fun of him, and the guys on their team, they obviously didn't like it either. So like he was kind of in front of them, so you can see them laughing. They're trying not to laugh.
Oh yeah,
Pierre, were you a good chirper?
Oh yeah. Oh yes, he was.
I mean, you got that. Remember what Mike Keaton was coaching the Flyers then?
Yeah.
And he was yelling at me on a face-off by the bench, and I never ever in my life looked at a coach and said something, but I was so tired of it. And I told him, I said, in certain ways, you know what? You can't bark at me as much as you want. You don't come on the ice. So shut up. And the whole bench was laughing because they didn't like him at all.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. What a jerk he was.
I mean, I remember actually when we got Sater, Mark Howe that I played with, Mark called me, he went, good luck. I said, what?
Oh, did he?
Said, good luck. Oh, yeah. Because he was in Philly. He was assistant coach.
Oh. You mentioned Mark Howe. Larry Plow was a general manager in Hartford.
Yep.
When Mark Howe was there.
Yep.
And Larry Plow told me later, he says, I almost lost my job. I was going to trade you for Mark Howe. I said, good thing he didn't do that.
Well, he traded a man away to Philly. So
yeah, that's right, too.
I think that, what's his name, got some share in Spectrum at the time. I'm not too sure. But I mean, Baldwin was the owner.
Yeah. So did you finish your career in New York?
Yep. That was it. I hurt my hip. And they didn't know at the time what they could do. I popped my librium in my hip. So I was like 5-6 years suffering with that. Oh. And by the time in 95, we came back to Pittsburgh and Mario got hurt with his hip, the same thing I had. And he met Dr. Philippon, a French-Canadian guy that was working for the Pittsburgh UPMC. And Mario went to see him. And a day later, I was there and surgery. And I went up with 2 of them because I kept trying to play. And I wound up tearing my muscle in my stomach. So they had to put a mesh too. And that was it. I was done after 10 games that year because every time I tried to go, it wouldn't work. Obviously, I had a torn librium on my left hip. I couldn't shoot. And that was it.
So had you kept a home in Pittsburgh the whole time?
Not when I played for the Rangers. We stayed in New York. My wife and I really love New York.
Yeah.
I still do. I thought it was a great experience playing in Madison Square Garden as a visitor and as a player.
Yeah, the fans loved you too. Your team. See the thing too. When I look back and I see the players that I really respected, like you could tell the rest of the team really loved you too. Like you're a good team player.
I loved everyone, and that's a great thing. I mean, you dream as a little boy skating outside, and then in Amherst, go back far away from everything you ever dream, and then boom, you're playing against. Yeah. I remember my first game against Minnesota. I was standing there looking at their sweater because I never, we didn't see that. Okay. And I'm looking, and Pronovo came by in French because I was just don't speak the language. Not then, not that I'm better now, but He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Look how beautiful those sweaters are." He goes, "You better look this side because guys are getting pissed." He goes, "What is he doing?" You want to go play for them? So I said, "No, I just like the sweater. It's okay."
But that's the same thing for me with Montreal too, going to Montreal Forum and everything. Oh man, that was.
I never won a freaking game there as a visitor.
Oh, really? Oh,
ever.
Wow.
That's the only building I never won.
Wow. I remember I was talking about Larry Robinson before. It must have been my 3rd or 4th year in the league. I was assistant captain, and something happened during the play. And the 2 captains from each team go to the referee at center ice to talk to him. And so Larry's one of the captains from Montreal. So I'm standing beside Larry, and I'm trying to act pretty cool, because I'm thinking like, "Oh, Larry Robinson's right here," And all of a sudden I hear this chirping out of my left ear, and I'm thinking, well, the referee's not talking. So is Larry Robinson talking to me? And he's making fun of me. He's going, and he looks at me and he goes, "What do you want, old man?" And Larry Robinson's saying this to me, and I'm thinking, and I said to him, "You're calling me old man?" And he starts just dying laughing and skates away, and the referee's dying laughing too. So.
That's the way. That's you know what? A lot of that happened in those days, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
You don't see that anymore. We used to able to have a conversation. Now I don't know.
Yeah, because next play, if I'd done something to him, he would have knocked me out cold if he wanted to. I mean, it wasn't like we were going to stop playing hard just because we were talking to each other. Yeah.
No. The beauty of that, I mean, Larry was like one of a kind.
Yeah.
It's well said too that you could put his name beside Bobby Orr, because I thought the same thing too. Big Bird was awesome. Great guy, great team guy. I mean, everything about him.
Yeah.
I've never seen him mad. Never seen him talk bad about anybody.
Yeah.
He was so steady. He was just a great friend too. So
yeah. What a real good team player. Yeah, the team was all the team. Yeah.
Remember when
you know what I loved about it too? He was famous for coming around the back of the net in his own zone and making that pass up the middle of the ice.
Always.
Yeah, and once in a while,
he sprung me away a lot of times. Just sprung me away.
And once in a while, it would get picked off. But you know what I liked about him? He didn't change. He said, "Nope, I'm going to do it. It's worked over and over. It didn't work this time, but I'm going to keep on doing it." So I really respected that about him. That he had that mental strength, to keep on doing what he did well.
Do you remember when he got on the ice with the skates not laced to fight Dave Scholes in the playoff?
Yes. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, how about the hit on Gary Dornhofer against the boards? Did he break the boards there in Montreal for him?
I don't know if he did, but it hurt. You made the noise. You could hear it.
Yeah, that was nasty. So, Pierre, you look back at your playing career. Any regrets at all?
I always said I wouldn't have. My goal was to get in there, and I did. Regrets, we all have some. Yeah. But to change I don't know if my life would be better or worse by changing anything.
Yeah.
I think my life was what it was, and it was. I was telling that my buddy the other day, so how fortunate I was to who I met and where I traveled and played with, and I played in a place where. When I was a kid skating on the ice, I wanted to play in the NHL. Yeah. And then you get there, like we said earlier, and you played. You're like, wow, it's quite an accomplishment to anybody that ever went through all this stuff you had to go through to wind up playing in the NHL. It was not easy. Yeah.
Isn't it true? Right? If somebody told you at 8 years old that you're going to do the things that you did on the ice and off the ice, you'd be like, come on, no way.
No, right? But you just, again, like I told you, the day of the draft, you're still like, you still wait to be drafted. You're scared shit that not, I mean, where are you going to go? Because we didn't know then. We didn't know nothing about that. And then you get picked in the first round. That was awesome.
Yeah, no kidding. It was great conference. Yeah, but like you said too, I think you were smart enough to understand at that time. Listen, just because I got drafted doesn't mean I've done anything yet, right? I still have to do the work. Yeah, definitely. So after the game, then so you moved back. You and your wife moved back to Pittsburgh, correct?
In '95. In '95.
Good. And then, so you're always a good golfer, but you got into the pro golfing tour?
No, we're done with that. Getting too old, too banged up.
Yeah, but you did that for a few years. I played a long
time. We started in '92 till 2008 or whatever. So that was fun. A lot of fun.
Wow. So did you you're getting paid for that and everything?
Well, no, we had to earn your pay. That's when you finish. And we didn't get no appearances fees. You have to go. Everybody made money. If you play good, you got more than the rest of them, obviously. And
wow.
That was fun.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Pierre, is that how you got close with Mario, just by playing golf in Pittsburgh?
No. If you go on YouTube, 1984, I went to give Mario wound up breaking the record in goal and points, but I still have the assist record in Quebec League. So that was right after we got beat by the Islanders in overtime, Tommy.
Yeah.
Gee whiz. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Quebec City to give Mario's trophy, the Jean Beliveau trophy for leading scorer in the Quebec League. And I met him then, and I met him when he came to Pittsburgh to skate with us in the summer league. So I known him way before golf.
Oh, gotcha. You got any good Mario stories for us? One good one?
Gee.
Nothing that you can tell on the show.
No, he does things like he doesn't. He's pretty secretive as far as like stuff he does or what he talks about. So sometimes he'll do something like. Here's what happened. In 1999, he buys the team. We're playing golf. He goes, why don't you come, work for us? I said, what do you want me to do? He said, well, just be with me. Well, just whatever. I never done that before because, we played. We didn't know nothing about management. And next thing I know, I'm in the box sitting with him. He still played then. Then he came in the box after he retired. And I've been with him for 22 years, since 1999.
Man. The story I think about when I talk about Mario, when he first came in, like everybody, like he's a young kid, 18 years old and, really talented and everything, but he was young, right? So me as my job, I could push him around a little bit or pin him against the boards. But as time went on, not only was he a really talented player, but he became a real competitor too. A lot like Steve Eisenman kind of rise. Yeah.
Well, you know what? You're playing with a bad team. After a while, it's difficult. Yeah. And then they get Tuckett, they get Francis, Stevens, on and on and on. You got Barrasso on the net. You got Murphy on defense with other guys. All of a sudden, they're a powerful team.
Yeah.
And you took them on his back and did what he did. I mean, you see some of the goals he scored. I mean, he was such a big boy, and he got stronger. And he was pretty fun to watch.
And obviously Wayne Gretzky, but Mario is like playing against him one-on-one. Again, I was supposed to be that really good defenseman, and I tell you, playing against him, you really had to be on your toes, because he was one time when in L.A. and Mike Allison, who you played with here in New York, was in L.A. and Robbie Ftorek was coaching, so he wanted Mike Allison to shadow Mario. But Mario was smart enough to puck in their zone. He would just come out and stand by me at the blue line. So Mike Allison, Mary Lemieux, Tom Laidlaw are all standing together at the blue line.
2-on-1, the old 2-on-1. Go stand beside someone.
Oh God! So we finally went into Robbie. So Robbie, it's not Mike's fault. We got to change this, So keep us all on the ice together, but don't have Mike chasing around. So we shut him down enough, but he still got his points. But we shut him down enough.
He was tremendous to watch. Great golfer too. We belong to the same club. We played a lot of golf.
Right. So how long did you work for? Are you still working for the team then?
Well, I'm still on, but Mario just sold the team, so
I
don't know what's going to happen after Christmas. But hey, it was a great run. Whatever happens, I got no problem with it. 21 years, pretty neat.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I remember when you and I saw each other. Went into his box there, and he had all his buddies there. He's great that way. It looked like he was really taking care of.
Well, he's again. You look at his foundation. He's been given over $25 million to his foundation for cancer research for children, for whatever. He does so much. His legacy is already secured as far as like after hockey stuff that you do. I mean, he's still doing it. We have something else coming up. We had this walk in October. It's a run and a walk, and there was like 4,000 people. He's been doing it. He's been great for the community.
Wow. Pierre, you mentioned before, you and Tom mentioned the 84 loss to the Islanders. Was that your biggest disappointment, Tom?
Oh, yeah. Well, Pierre, I'll let you talk about it too. But for me, we've been up in the series 2-1, and we're playing at the Garden and lost that game to them. We should have won
2-1, I think. We lost 2-1.
Yeah. So that was but I've watched the video. I'm sure you have, Pierre, that game 5 when Kenny Morrow scored. What a great game that was.
You know what? We all played them too. I saw that game. It's one of the few times I watched the game.
Yeah.
And I think it's the only time I ever watched the game. We all played them.
Oh, I know. Them. And we outplayed him in the series. Like you said, we should have won game 4 at the Garden.
Yeah. And they went on to win the cup again. But, man, that was pretty much like in the 4 game we lost against the Islanders when I was here in 75. I didn't know about that record. I was 19 years old, so it's like whatever. But that one, we had a great team. I thought that would make a long run on that one. I really did.
We had Clark Gillies contacted me. We were doing the Facebook show where we had Dave Maloney and Gresh, and Clark Gillies contacted me, like a little kid too. He was funny. He says, "Can I come on the show? Can I come on the show?" So we had him on, and he was great with us. And he really, he told us that if we had won that series, he thought we would have won the cup that year too.
Yeah, well, he talked. Clark, he's a great guy. I know another one that I got to meet through golf, and what a job he did in New York with his foundation and his wife Pam, and obviously we lost him. We lost Lafleur. We lost. Bossy. I mean, that's just bum, 3 in a row. So
Emile Francis.
Hopefully, that's going to stay away from us for a while.
Yeah, Roger Bear, Emile Francis. All
Yeah.
Remember, speaking of somebody that passed away, Carol Vadney was. Did you knew that, right? Yeah, he was great. He took me on his wing when he retired and got into coaching. He really treated me fantastic, like teaching me.
Well, he knew what. No, he was a great defenseman. There was no.
Yeah. And talking about Clark Gillies, so one game, Vad had the French accent there. He goes, "Tell me, you go to the front of the net with that Gillies, you punch him right in the chest." So it was at that point where Vad told me to do something, I was going to do it. So go in front of the net, and the whistle blows, and I punch Gillies in the chest. And he looks at me with that one eyebrow going across the top of his head. Goes, "What do you want?" I'm looking over Vad. I said, "Okay, Vad, you can tell me what to do next."
He was like. One year we're in a preseason game and we got Jaco Caillou just became our trainer.
Yeah.
And Clarky's by the board and I started giving him shit for fun, right?
Yeah.
And the play starts and Caillou comes to me and goes, "I never heard nobody talk to him like that before." I said, "Don't worry about it. My boy's holding the control." Clarky looked, he goes, "Oh, blah, blah, blah."
It's a good thing Clarky was a good guy too.
My God, if it had been me. It took him a while to get me and ask Padar about that. But
Pierre, did you get any
I mean, we see this fight. They show this fight on YouTube and stuff like that. You look at it once in a while. Somebody will talk about Clarky. I said, "Put his name in. Take a look what he did." I mean, O'Reilly and him and on and on and on.
The night that he broke Eddie Hospital's jaw. Oh my God. Oh, that was nasty.
Pierre, did you get any scraps yourself?
I was not there, but I was told a couple of times. He said, "Eddie, go away. Eddie, go away."
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or not, but he was telling him this, to leave me alone.
It is very true. And Clark even told the story about it too. Yeah, he kept telling Eddie, don't do it anymore. I'm going to knock you out. Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah.
Man, I've never seen somebody get hit that hard.
Right. They both, Eddie and Clarky both ended up playing in Buffalo together. And Clarky tells the story that he invited Eddie over for dinner. And Clarky's son, I think it was sitting at the dinner table. And he asked Eddie, he says, you ever lost any teeth? Yeah, your dad knocked him out.
Just show you how hockey is like. One day you're playing against that try to take you out. The next day he's in your room and he becomes your best friend and your teammate.
Isn't that true? I was telling the story. Bob Nystrom had knocked me out, put me in the hospital, the playoffs in maybe 82 or 83. And since then, we know each other, and I've talked to him on the phone a few times. And I was telling somebody, man, I got a lot of respect for Bob Nystrom. He knocked me out one night, put me in the hospital. And the person goes, what did you just say? You got respect for a guy who just knocked you out? I said, yeah, that's the way we do things. Yeah.
But you know what? If you remember in those days, that series against the Islanders was hard and clean. I don't even know if there was a fight. I think Georgie fought Nystrom in Long Island, and I was like, whoa.
Yep, totally. Yeah, you're right on that. We concentrated on playing hockey. Yeah, it was good.
I see him when he was GM. He'd come in Pittsburgh to play with his Golden Knights.
Yeah,
and he was a tough freaking bugger, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, I played college against him, and we couldn't fight in college, and he was always spearing me. And I thought I was the toughest guy on the planet back then. And here's this little guy spearing me and everything. I said, what is going on? So he got called up. He was in the minors, like you said. At that game we fought Nystrom, I think it was his first game he got called up. And I didn't know how tough he was. And he went to square off with him at first. And I figured I got to step in and save George, this little guy, And George is now mad at me. He screams, like, what are you doing? And so they got out of the penalty box and went at it. And I was like, okay, so I'm stepping out of the way here. This kid's tough.
I remember Nystrom's face going, all right, that's enough.
Yeah.
He kept coming and coming. That's what took him out of hockey. Remember, his knuckles were all banged up.
Yeah. He's done a good job off the ice too, building Washington. He had a big part in that. Good job in Vegas there too. So,
it's time. Mother Nature and time is taking over to the team, and guys are getting older and older. But the thing about the league, you never know who's going to win any time, any night. There's not really one dominant team like the other night. Who beat Colorado?
Yeah, I think some team was. Well, Chicago came in here and beat the Rangers. Chicago hadn't won 8 in a row and they beat the Rangers.
That's what I mean. It's like you never know anymore because the way the game is. There's not really a powerful team. You would say they have the advantage to win the cup.
Yeah, definitely.
What I see
Colorado. Maybe Colorado a little bit last year, but they had that the year before that too and lost. So, yeah. So Pierre, what are you doing now? Then you're not golfing. The body's beat up a little bit. No more golf.
No. Well, I play a little bit, not as much as used to. You're getting sore. The surgeries you have, they start to show up a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, it's great. I mean, whatever it is, I know why we're sore today because what we did, but I wouldn't change nothing for it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. You do it over again, twice again, right? Even if you knew you're going to have a little sore.
Maybe a little smarter.
Yeah, I know. But that's like when I asked before about regrets. Yeah, you can look back and say, geez, we could have done this, we could have done that. But you know what? Like you're a fantastic person now, and everything that's happened to you in the past has made you what you are now. So I don't want to change anything.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, it's what like I did an interview. I don't remember exactly when. The guy asked me what I would change. I said, well, I would have bought a lot of gold in 1976 at $25 an ounce. I would have loaded on it. That's what I would change. Hockey, nothing like you can't change hockey. And the one kid asked me, what do you miss the most about not playing? And as I said, I got a hard time finding 20 guys to shower with me at 2 p.m.
And then go have a glass of wine with them too, or several glasses of wine.
Right.
Yeah.
At the what's it called? We used to give Finney. What was that place?
Yeah, Jim Finn, the pub. Yep, there you go.
The pub.
Oh God, we had some good. I know physically the drinking was not good for us.
I know,
but the times we had together, it just felt like that was the game back then. It was like you got it. Like it was kind of like, as you know, it was an unwritten rule. The guys are going for a few beers. You got to go. Right? If you want to play.
We had lunch, and that's another aspect of the game that nobody knows about. How much we enjoyed each other having lunch, chewing the breeze, on and on. I mean, again. All fortunate that we got to get to the highest level of the game and meet the people we met, and the enjoyment out of it was unbelievable.
So you were here when Herb was here then too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So were you there when we had the little stag party for Gresh in the pub? Were you here for that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so remember the guy Bender?
So the little guy.
Yeah. So we were closing off the pub, so it's for Gresh's party. And so Finn obviously knew well. So we were going to take care of him. He was going to be losing money, but we took care of him, made sure it was fine. But it was the one guy, the postal worker, that Bob Bender, who just loved Herb, right? And we said, okay, Bob, you can spend a little bit of time with Herb. You can meet him. But then you've got to leave right away. So I guess he was sitting in there drinking and eating all day long. And when Herb comes in, he's so nervous talking to Herb. We're watching him the whole time. And he starts looking like he's going to throw up. And we're like, oh, no, he's going to blow. He's going to blow. Now, this is the first time Herb Brooks has ever been in the pub. He doesn't like this place. He doesn't like us hanging around there.
No.
And we're saying, Bob's going to blow. It's coming. It's coming. He threw up all over Herb's shoes.
So I remember, yeah.
You remember?
The end of that.
We're just dying laughing for
Those
Herb.
stories are great. I was telling somebody the other day, I wish that when we were young growing up, that we had those phones and when us growing. I mean, like now they'll show Stamkos, they'll show the guys when they were little people. Yeah. That would have been a great, because we had a Pee-wee. We went to Quebec City. We lost in the final. I mean, that would be nice to be able now to look at it and say, look, we played Quebec tournament, but we have a picture. That's it. There's no
I know.
video of it.
Yeah, my parents did a pretty good job of saving pictures, but yes, just pictures. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all we had, but it's nice. I don't look at the pictures anymore, but none any less. If I see it, I look.
Yeah.
Because the memories, everything I look at a picture, there's a memory behind it. And 99% of the time, they're great memories because they involve my teammates or whatever. So
and you're thinking back how we were feeling, right? You're dreaming of playing in the National Hockey League, and then you're there, and it's just true.
That's amazing. I mean, just the fact that we got there. I mean, so many people tried to get there.
I know.
Gee whiz.
Isn't that true? Like your first play, I told the story. The first regular season game I played was in Boston. And I just could not believe I was in the NHL. It was just an incredible feeling. Yeah. Where was your first game?
That was in Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
And I scored against Cesare Maniago.
Cesare Maniago. Nice. That's the name you scored in your first game?
Yeah. I think,
very cool.
I don't know if it's my first shift, but I think it was the second one.
Wow. You and Mario, right? Wasn't Mario?
Well, Mario scored his first shift, so I'll leave it to that.
Well, I actually scored my first game as well. I was so nervous I banked the puck off JD's leg in their own net the first game in the NHL.
Good goal, +1.
Yeah, JD, come on, JD, stop the puck for God's sake. Wake up in there.
That's what I tell people. They ask me, why'd you guys didn't block shots? I said, first of all, the equipment sucked, and the goalie back there got paid to stop it, so we got out of the way. Because that sucked. It hurt. Remember how bad the equipment was?
Man, terrible, yeah.
You block shots. I don't know how you block shots with the equipment we had. Man,
yeah. I know. Yeah. And I had to. Yeah. I turned the puck over so much I had to block the shot after I turned it over.
On. Don't sell yourself short, Tom. You're a great defenseman.
We had a blast
playing with you.
We had a blast playing together. Remember we were at training camp there? You came to stay with me too. We really got pretty close. Remember we went on vacation together?
Yeah. It was all good. I mean, it was a great time. I mean,
oh man.
I mean, let's what I wouldn't change nothing, but it'd be nice to run it again.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, but not change nothing. Just run it again. So I remember taking pictures, videos, and see.
Yeah. Very true.
That was great.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it true? The memory, like talking to you now, I mean, we haven't talked to each other in a while. Like, bring back all the memories of those teams we had and how close we were. And everything.
Cool. It was just, like I said, and I said it before, and I'll say it again. Once you wear the blue shirt in New York, it's just, for some reason, it's like the Montreal Canadiens, New York Rangers, original 6. I think it leaves an imprint on you that you play for the New York Rangers or the Montreal Canadiens. I mean,
Yeah, very true. When I got traded to LA, we still had the purple and gold jerseys. I remember coming into Montreal, we were in the purple and gold jerseys, and it was almost like embarrassing. Like,
I remember those things.
Oh man, they're kind of cool now. Like as a retro.
Now they're cool because. What about the Vancouver Canucks when they came up with that?
That was awful. How about the Pittsburgh jersey when you were there? What was it like? Was it a good one?
The blue one, yeah.
Oh, that's right. It was the blue.
It looks almost looked like purple. Almost.
That's right. Yeah. So obviously, when you were there in Pittsburgh the first time, you liked it, and that's why you went back.
Cindy was from Pittsburgh. I always liked Pittsburgh. It's an easy place to live. I wish I could have stayed in New York, but at the time there was no.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't get an opportunity to do nothing. I mean, as far as like getting a job with the Rangers or something, that was almost impossible. Yeah. So in '95, it was I didn't want to waste all the money I had saved in New York because it's expensive and nothing was going on. I tried in different ways, but. So we came back to Pittsburgh, 95.
Very cool. Are you going to stay there, Pierre? Are you going to go down to Florida?
I'm going to go down to Florida a little bit this year. It's the first year that I may do that and enjoy it because I never spent a month in Florida before. So at age 67, I finally get to go there for a month.
Good. You got a place down there?
No. I'll rent one for the month and maybe February and come back. And
you're looking good, too. You look like you're in shape and everything, too.
Well, there's no food in the fridge there, Tom. That's the key. That's the key. There's no food in the fridge.
Oh, God. You're probably the best wine drinker in the history of the National Hockey League, too, aren't you?
That was pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's been 13 years, though, Tom.
Oh, you haven't drank in 13 years?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, good job.
Thank you. That's not quite an accomplishment for me.
Well, I was telling somebody a story the other day. It might have been even Tom, our producer here, but thinking back to those days, it's just that was the
That's
culture.
what it was.
Yeah,
right. Everybody did. That's all I remember.
Yep. It's almost like if you didn't drink, it was like, what's wrong with this guy? I remember Kelly Miller and Mike Ridley came up, and we went out to Orrin and Retzky's one night after a game, and they ordered a glass of milk, and we were outraged. We really were mad.
Wow.
We're like,
if you didn't come out, I'm sorry, I lost you for a sec.
Yeah, no problem.
If you didn't come out with the boys, there was stuff to pay the next day at practice.
Yeah, it really was.
Like we said, have a couple of beers. We're not asking you to get drunk and stay till 4 in the morning. Come have lunch, have a couple of beers, so we get to know everybody. So
yeah, you loosen up the bonding part of it and everything.
That's the part. I mean, those kids. Don't forget too. That's when we started to see more college kids that come in. Yeah, and like we're like in the league for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. It started Europeans, so everything started changing a lot. And you got to be a team. You got to be together, and that's the end of that.
Remember little Rare Roots Lane? He came in. He didn't talk at all for like the first 2 months. He was really quiet. We went to the pub one day and had a few cocktails. And all of a sudden, he was a motormouth. He was talking all day long.
He drank. He didn't give a spot. We all did. That was fun.
Is that true? We see back about those guys like Rare Roots Lane and Thomas Sandstrom, Jan Eriksson, all those Swedes come over. They were good guys too.
Sure, yeah. The big Thomas, he was like,
he
didn't say much, didn't he?
No. Do you remember
when Braun gave him the shot?
Oh yeah. Oh, how about the time in practice where Glennie Hannon chased him around the ice a little bit?
Yeah. we see a lot of that stuff.
Oh, is that funny? Oh God. Glennie Hanlon was one of the best teammates ever too.
I love Glennie. Was he fun in net?
Yeah.
The way he was like lefty catcher and he was great. I mean, you look at their team. We used to have some great Halloween parties.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it was just unbelievable. With
what did Tom go dressed as? Charlie Brown.
I don't remember what I don't remember what I went at. So
I can't remember either.
I know one thing, we had a good time. That I know.
Yeah. The costumes are almost secondary. We just
that was the purpose of the Halloween cocktail.
Definitely. So retirement then now for you, Pierre? If this is the
it could be. I don't know what the new owner from the Boston group have in mind.
Right.
I talked a little bit to them and see what happened at the end of the month. And
good.
I mean, if I stay, I stay. If I not, that's one thing I don't have any regret with that. It was a great run. I had a great time.
But I can't see you sitting around doing nothing, though, right?
No, I still can play golf. I can enjoy it outside. I mean, I'm not stuck in the house. I move around. I do a lot of good stuff. So
good deal. Good. Well, you're a great teammate. I'll tell you. It was a blast playing with you. You're a good man.
No, Tommy, I missed you too, and love you a lot. It's memories I would never exchange for nothing, buddy. They were great.
Man, isn't that true? Fantastic.
Unbelievable. Right? What a great time. I talked to Gresh the other day.
Oh, you
I'm
did?
watching the Rangers, and I see a kid with number 4 on.
Right.
So I send him a text. I said, your number's not retired yet? What's going on here? So he called me. I said, he said, Pep, do you believe that? I said, I can't believe the number 4 is here. I mean, don't retire, but nobody should wear it. You were there. You're the longest ever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Gresh was a great player, great teammate.
Yeah.
I don't know why his sweater's not retired. I have no idea why.
I know. And every time he goes to the Garden, too, the fans are always coming up to him and saying the same thing, too. So
well, I mean, he played all his life there. I mean,
he was in New York.
Just that is an accomplishment.
Yeah. He's a New Yorker, too, right? Lived in the city.
Yeah. I'd always love to talk to Gresh.
Well, Pierre, listen, thank you very much for coming on the show. It's a real thrill to be the fans listen to the old stories and everything. They'll get a kick out of it. So it's great to see you again. I do love you, too. You're a great man.
I love you, Tommy. Tom. Thank you so much, brother. You be safe. You come to Pittsburgh, give me a shout.
You better. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. But
thanks a lot, Pierre.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was huge. As a kid, as a Ranger fan, like I looked up to Pierre Larouche. He almost got 50.
Yeah.
We never knew like why he got cold at the end, but that story he told us about the can.
Yeah, I know. Great personality too. He was a fantastic teammate. I'll never forget when our wonderful friend Ted Sater sent him to the minors. It backfired on him. I think he felt like he was going to try to show everybody who was the boss, but Pierre was so liked by his teammates that we all wanted him back. It was like he really was one of the characters in the game.
Yeah, and he helped you guys on that run when you got to the Final Four. It was pretty impressive and pretty incredible. Just a great story, and what a player.
Yeah, he's got some great stories. Maybe you should do like an X-rated version of it one time because he's got some other stories that are pretty funny.
I don't know if that's a different podcast.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
we should have asked him who was a better golfer, him or Mario. But I think he'd probably say he was, right?
Yeah, definitely. All right, Grasshoppers. Thank you for listening. We had a fantastic show. We'll see you next time.